Hey, what's up guys? This is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be taking a Buster Blader deck profile. Now, this deck is really fun, and it's really combo based with some of the trap cards, and I never thought I would really say this, but Buster Blader is actually a trap archetype. But some of the cards that are really in this deck are key components are actually the trap cards, which is really neat about this deck. It kind of slows the deck down and makes it a little bit more reliant on your opponent's turn. But it's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy this deck, and it's a very OTK based deck, and I've always loved Buster Blader, and so let's get into it. Before we get into this deck profile, guys, don't forget to check down the description below and check out my Patreon account. I actually made one recently, so if you guys wouldn't mind, I would appreciate you guys checking it out. So let's get straight on into this. So this deck was actually really interesting to build because a couple of cards I just didn't know what to put in that slot. And then finally I was messing with it one night and it just clicked. The whole deck just clicked. So first off, I'm playing 3 copies of Buster Blader. You have to play 3 copies of him because he's just the all-star of the deck and he's the nostalgic bad man himself. So then we play 1 copy of the new card, which is relatively new card, the retrained version of Buster Blader, which is Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman. Now, key things about him is that this card's name becomes Buster Blader while on the field or in the graveyard. And if a monsters you control, if a monsters your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those destroyed monsters and equip it to this card. And then once per turn, you can send a monster card you control that is equipped to him to the graveyard to destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same type. So it's kind of like a tribe-infecting virus with Buster Blader, which is kind of neat. I really like it because it can take some combo pieces out of your opponent's graveyard by playing him, and he really helps out that way. So then I only play 1 copy of the Wizard Buster Destruction Sword. They kind of work like union monsters where you can equip them to the Buster Bladers, but you have to normal summon them first. Its effect is that you can target a Buster Blader card you control and equip it from your hand or your side of the field, excuse me. But they'd still work kind of like union monsters where they work as equip cards. While this card is equipped to that monster, your opponent cannot basically move cards in their graveyard, so it's kind of like Necro Valley, or they can't activate the effects of the cards in the graveyard, which is really nice. And then we play 3 of the better one, which is Buster Whelp, the Destruction Swordsman. I really like this one a lot better. The Buster Whelp is kind of like the Stratos of the deck, and it's a tuner in the deck, so it kind of helps you get into your Buster Dragons a little bit easier. Its effect is that when you normal or special summon, or when you normal summon it, you can add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand, and then once per turn you can activate one of the following effects. You can either tribute it, special summon a Buster Blader monster from your hand or graveyard, or if this card is in your graveyard and you control a Buster Blader, you can discard 1 Destruction Sword card, which helps actually, because some of your Destruction Sword cards actually get benefits from being in the grave, to special summon this card, which can help you, again, either link summon or get you into a, what's it called? The Buster Dragon. Then I play 3 copies of the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. This one's really good. This one's almost as good as Buster Whelp. You can target a Buster Blader you control and equip this card from your hand or your side of the field to it, which is really good. And then when this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters, so it's like a Vanity's Emptiness. The other thing is when this card is equipped to a monster, you can special summon it back to the field, so you can either link with it or you can synchro with it, which is really nice. And I really enjoy that effect about it because it can bring itself out, but I really like that card. Then I only play 2 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. I figured with all the other search cards, we only need 2 Sage to search out our Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. So you really only need 2. You can play 3 if you want to, but I just played 2. Then finally, I play 1 copy of Glow Up Bulb. Glow Up Bulb helps because you can foolish it to the grave and then get some really awesome link plays with it, or get some synchro plays with it. Because you just have to send a card from the top of your deck to the graveyard to special summon it. And it doesn't banish itself, so you can do it, you can't do it again because it's only once per duel, but you can bring it back with stuff like Call of the Haunted and stuff like that if you need to. So that's what I'm playing for the monsters. Not a lot of monsters in the deck, but let's get on to the spells. The spells are kind of important, but the traps are really where it's at in this deck. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. So, first off, we're going to play one copy of 1-for-1 because we play so many low-level monsters that you need a 1-for-1 because it can just instantly get you out your combo pieces. Foolish Burial because it allows us to get rid of our Glow-Up Bulb from the deck, and it can actually allow us to get rid of some other cards that we might need later on. Like if I have a set called the Haunted, and I want to bring back a Buster Whelp to synchro into the Buster Dragon and then bring back my Buster Blader, I can send it to grave, and it's just really combo. It helps with combos. I'm only playing one copy of Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer because I tried two and I kept drawing it and I didn't need it. So as I'm only playing one, because it's kind of like you're playing 5 Buster Bladers in the deck with 3 Buster Bladers, the one retrained one, and then this. And this lets you add it from the graveyard or from the deck to your hand. Then I play 2 copies of Cards of Consonance because you can discard a Dragon Tuner that has 1,000 attack or less, and we have 6 targets for that. So we just need 2 of them, and it adds some draw power. 2 copies of Sacred Sword of 7 Stars because we play 4 targets for it, and sometimes you really don't need that other Buster Blader in your hand because you've already got an established board. You just don't really need. So you just get rid of the one that you don't need, and then you draw 2 cards that might be good combo pieces. 2 copies of Where Art Thou. This lets you add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand if you control a level 1 monster. So you might special summon out your Glow-Up Bulb and then normal summon out your Buster Whelp that you searched off the Where Art Thou, but you really only need 2 copies of it. It kind of clogs at 3 for me, so 2 copies is perfect because if you don't normal summon the monster, you take 2,000 life points. 2 Destruction Swordsman Fusion. This card is awesome, but you really only need 2 of it because you have so many ways to get it into the graveyard and it adds itself back to your hand. This allows you to fusion summon basically the Buster Blade or the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. That's the only real card you're going to go into it, but you only are going to need maybe 1 the whole duel. So you play 2 because you kind of want to see it and you need more Destruction Swordsman cards in your deck because some of the cards require you to discard Destruction Swordsman cards. But I really like this card because if it's in your graveyard, you can send 1 card, any card from your hand to the grave to add it back to your hand, which is really, really nice. But you can only do that once per turn. So you can kind of use it for discard fodder if you need to, and then bring it back. So 2 copies of it is plenty, and you don't ever need more than that. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps, the real combo pieces of this deck. So first off, we're going to play 1 copy of Destruction Sword Flash. If you control a fusion monster that lists Buster Blader, you can banish all monster as a material. Banish all monsters your opponent controls, and when a card or effect is activated that targets a Buster Blader monsters, that targets a Buster Blader monsters you control, except during the damage step, you can banish from the graveyard, negate the effect, and if you do, destroy a card. So it adds a little bit of protection, and it can really like devastate your opponent by banishing all their cards. Then I play 2 copies of Quaking Mirror Force, and that's because the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, he inflicts piercing damage. So it really helps out, and you play a lot of little monsters. So 2 Quaking just works. I know it doesn't work on Link monsters, but I'm not really so worried about that. Because the Buster Blader fusion monster gets so big sometimes, I just beat over it. This is for early game when my opponent doesn't have a Link monster. Then I play Destruction Sword Memories. Destruction Sword Memories is probably my favorite of the cards in the deck. It's just a beautiful card, and it's awesome, the effect. You can discard a Destruction Sword card, especially summon a Buster Blader from your deck, and then it acts like a Miracle Fusion as well, because if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard, and then in the materials, like a Buster Blader and a Dragon Destroyer Swordsman card, to special summon a Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, which is really, really cool. Because you just banish the cards and it acts like Miracle Fusion. So it's awesome. It can get you a Destruction Swordsman really, really fast. Then I play 3 Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. You send both of them to the grave. You send a Destruction Sword and a Buster Blader to your grave to special summon a Buster Dragon from your extra deck, which is really nice. I don't use the banish effect as much as I should, because you can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, Destruction Sword cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect. That's really good if you discard it, because it can protect like your Buster Whelp and stuff like that, but it's not a necessity, because once you get that Buster Dragon on the field, you're not going to need it. and you will send that Buster Dragon to grave because it gets destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. But that's why we play 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted makes the difference in this deck because if your Buster Dragon gets destroyed, you can special summon it back. And if you have a Buster Blader in the graveyard, you can special summon it back as well. And then my last 3 cards that I'm playing is I'm playing 3 copies of DNA Surgery, because if I can't get the Buster Dragon out, I can at least get the DNA Surgery and the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman out. I cannot emphasize how good DNA Surgery is in this deck, because you can call dragons, everything becomes dragons, and then he gains 1,000 attack for every single dragon on the field. And they negates all their effects, which is nuts. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck really quick. Now, there's only a couple of cards that I really need to go over in the extra deck, and that's the Fusion Monster and the Buster Dragon itself. So, the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, you only play 2 copies of it, and it must be Fusion Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. So you can't Call of the Haunted him back, which isn't that big of a deal. And he cannot attack directly, which is not that big of a deal. And this card gains 1,000 attack and defense for each dragon monster your opponent controls. That's why DNA Surgery is so important, or is in their graveyard. You can change all he changes all dragon monsters to the defense position that your opponent controls. And also, dragon monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. And if this card attacks a defense position monster, he inflicts piercing damage. That's why Quaking Mirror Force is really good in this deck. So then we play 3 copies of Buster Dragon. I'm playing 3 because it can really help out to have that third one. Its effect is that if you can just synchro it out with any tuner monster, and you're usually going to use a Buster Blader plus it. And then all monsters your opponent controls become dragon, which is nice. And then once per turn, if you do not control a Buster Blader monster, you can target one in your grave and special summon it back. And then once per turn, if during your opponent's turn, you can target a Buster Blader monster you control and equip it with a Destruction Swordsman card in your grave. So then that's it for the actual Buster Blader stuff. I play a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, a Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which is the monster I go into the most in this deck. It's the easiest to go into because if you know this is going to die off that prologue card, then you can normal summon a tuner monster and then synchro into the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to go from the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss into the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. So it's really easy to go from here to here, and if you have 2 tuner monsters on the field, you can go from here to here. So it just kind of depends on which way you want to go and which route you want to go. Then I play 1 Scarlight Dragon Archfiend. Or Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. He's really good in the deck. I just played him because I play all these other ones. And I can make him with a Buster Blader and any other card. A Beals because it's Beals and you can make it with the Dark Tuner monster plus this. A Psyframe Lord Omega because he's probably the best rank, or probably the best level 8 synchro monster in the game. And then for my for my Link monsters, I play a Borreload because it's my favorite Link monster in the game. A Decode Talker, because it's easy and generic to go into. Borreload is actually easy to go into in this deck. Akasi Magician, I think that's how you say it. Whatever. It's a Link 2. And then I play 1 Proxy Dragon because I can make it easy in the deck, and it lets me link easier. But that's it for the deck. I don't play any XYZs in the deck. The only one that I might play is a 38, because you can make a Buster Dragon, bring it back from the grave, but I just thought it would be too much trouble to make it. So I don't play any XYZ monsters in the deck. I just don't. It doesn't suit the playstyle of the deck to me, but you guys might find something different, and that's okay. Buster Bladers are kind of a diverse deck. You can play it a bunch of different ways. You can play with Dragoonities or stuff like that. I just kind of like the pure build, but with the Sage with Eyes of Blue, or the Red Dragon build, if you will. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed making this deck, and I have been playing around with this deck probably for 6 months, and I was messing with it one night, and it just, like I said, it just clicked, and it worked. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.